Hi, this is DOSBox Mom, and welcome back to Let's Play Pool of Radiance. As you can see from the area view, we are in a little goblin training hall where we just defeated the goblin arms master who was trying to use our party as training dummies to instruct his goblin students. Got some magical leather armor off him. So let's get out of area view. And I think this time we'll head south. There's one place we want to visit down this way. We will be back here later, of course. Okay, let's pick the lock. And that didn't work, so let's bash. You burst into an elegantly paneled room. A small man sits hunched over a table by the east wall. He sets down his pen and gazes sternly at you. Well, he demands, what do you do? Let's talk. Let's be nice for now. I may have a use for you, the man says. Some time ago I ordered a special potion. The potion is ready, but I can't leave to fetch it. Bring it here. I pay well. What do you do? Accept the commission. It waits in a booth in the old rope guild, but a short distance to the southeast from where you now stand. Speak my name, Ohlo. You go back out the door. And it automatically turns us around. Now, the old rope guild is the toughest part of the slums. We've just been surprised by goblins. Okay, yeah, the TV's going in the next room, so it's kind of hard for me to hear the goblins. Hopefully you guys can hear them. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording while I resolve this random encounter. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We basically got, a little bit of experience. When everybody's level 1, occasionally oh, look at all that silver we got. That's quite a bit. Yeah, that's basically the goblin leaders that have arrows. Let's share that silver. Okay. Okay. Let's see what our fighter types are loaded down with. Okay, let's maybe drop that studded leather armor. That should reduce their encumbrance quite a bit right there. Oh, look at all that. Well, it looks like it was probably about time for us to head back to town anyway. Well, I think we should probably do that as soon as we get done picking up this stuff. But at least now they've got room in their inventory to pick up the arrows, which was... Okay. Okay. And we'll have Elvo here and Gimli each pick up some of the arrows. And we'll join the arrows so they can pick up some of the other stuff, and then we'll probably head back to town and sell a lot of this junk off. Now, of course, in later gold box games, it'll auto join things like arrows for you, so that saves inventory space. Okay, so let's start maybe with the longbows. Basically the stuff that the goblin leaders were carrying. Okay. And maybe start picking up the armor to sell off. Alright, we'll take that one shield. And then maybe the studded leather armor. Okay. Okay, it looks like Dan still had a little bit of room left in his inventory. Okay, that's it. We're just going to have to leave those last couple swords. And we definitely have to go back to town now. Okay, so we're not going to try to rest here, but we're just going to save. Yeah, and you can just start moving right away. You don't have to click move, which you do in some of the later games. I know that throws me off some. Oh, you're being approached by some angry kobolds. Let's advance. We're so loaded down. We'd waste our movement allowance getting up close to them. It's basically, this will count towards our 15 random encounters. And I'll go ahead and pause the recording while I finish up this random encounter, and then we'll continue on our way back to town. So, see you in a minute. And we're back. There really wasn't anything worth picking up from that. So let's keep moving. And that room directly to the north is where we just were at the end of the last episode. So it should be safe to camp here and rememorize spells. Which might help us survive long enough to reach town. Okay. So. Okay. Okay, so let's get back out and back to town. Okay, you're being approached by some angry goblins. Let's advance and we'll go ahead and do combat. I mean, we could get out of it, but we need to rack up, the 15 random encounters to clear the block anyway, so we might as well fight the battle. So we'll be back in a bit. And we're back. We're very close to the exit back to town, so I think we will save, but I don't think we'll attempt to cast healing spells. Or maybe we could. Okay. We'll save. And let's see if we can make it back to the entrance. Okay, now we're back in town. And as long as we don't... Okay. I think it's the exact same proclamations that were up before, so we don't need to read those again. Yeah, that's an inn there. But I think as long as it's daylight hours, we'll go in here first, our favorite arms and armor shop, and we'll sell off some of the junk. Now notice we have a lot of copper and silver. So let's see what happens if we try to sell off some of the stuff that we've got. Okay, so we will definitely sell off that short bow, since we've got all these nice long bows now. Okay, we'll want to keep one longbow where we can get rid of those extra shields. Which aren't worth anything. So, word to self, don't bother picking up shields unless we know they're magical. Okay, the longbows are actually quite valuable. And the encumbrance isn't that bad compared to armor, so... We'll definitely want to remember to pick up bows when we run into them. And we'll pool. Okay, we'll sell off his short bow. Keep that long bow. And we'll sell off the scale mail, because it's not as good as the splint mail that we bought. One reason why it's so important to pick up even non-magical junk early on is because once we earn enough experience to get promotions, we're going to need to pay for the training. Of course, with like 329 experience per person, nobody's ready to level up yet. Yeah, we checked the scale mail isn't even as good as the chain mail. We really should take a look at that clerical scroll to see what's on it. Okay, short swords we get a little bit for, but not that much. Of course, our mages can't use any of the gear that we've picked up so far, but at least they can lug it around and sell it off. Although we'll definitely want to remember what stuff is worth lugging around. Excuse me. Okay, we get a little bit more for studded leather armor than we do for short swords, but not that much. Definitely the longbows are the things to go for. I think the scale mail we were getting 7 gold each. But of course the scale mail weighs a lot more than the longbows. Yeah, and of course since Gimli's multi-class, his experience points are divvied up between the 2 character classes that he has. So we're going to sell off his original non-magical leather armor and the short bow. We'll save that one longbow. We'll take a look at the leather armor that we picked up in the slums in just a minute. Okay. Now, before we go back and take a... Okay, look, it's still copper, silver, gold, platinum. Now, we do need to identify that leather armor that Gimli is wearing. So let's I for ID. It's going to cost us 200 gold. Hopefully we earned enough from selling off everything. And yes, that's leather armor plus 1. Now, look. See? The shopkeeper made change. And this is a lot less bulky than what we had earlier. And we'll want to share that out. There should be plenty enough left for paying for a room at the inn. So, yeah. Now we have enough that anybody can pay for a room. So we're going to have to rememorize spells. And then perhaps we can see if we can afford mirrors yet. And maybe a holy symbol for our cleric. Oh. Okay, so let's go see if we can find a store that would sell. Oh, that's arms and armor. Okay, and notice this is a different message. Same looking shopkeeper, but it's not arms and armor. The shopkeeper greets you and offers you items for sale. Can I show you something? Yeah. So let's see what he's got. Well, he's got different kinds of mirrors. Either kind will work for deflecting gaze attacks. Flask of oil are basically the one kind of non-magical missile weapon that clerics can use in this game, because there are no staff slings. Wow. And there's a couple different kinds of holy symbols. You know, as to turning undead, doesn't matter what kind you have. I think basically, as long as the cleric has one, they're the only one that can turn undead, so they're the one you want to buy a holy symbol for. Holy water vial will be important later on when we're running into encounters with undead. So let's go ahead and pool. So we still have about 212 gold. So we'll have our cleric buy a holy symbol first. And then we'll have each character buy a brass mirror. I believe in the other games they don't even bother with the distinction between brass and silver mirrors. They only sell the silver ones. You might possibly remember from my Let's Play of Gateway to the Savage Frontier just how much work we had to go through to raise the funds to buy silver mirrors when we were first starting out in Yardhar. Okay, still have 151. Let's just make sure that everybody has a brass mirror. Okay, we'll go ahead and okay. So I guess we cannot have a holy symbol equipped at the same time. We've got a weapon or a shield equipped. No big deal. Okay, everybody's got their brass mirrors. Maybe we can buy some flask of oil for Teresa. Okay, that's probably enough for her to start with. And we should be able to join those flasks. I don't think we'll bother getting them for our other characters because the mages have darts and the fighter types have arrows. So, yeah, we'll share out our gold. And I know we can't really rest here, but let's just encamp for a second and take a look at what's on that spell scroll. Okay. So she has to... Oh, interesting. She has to have both hands free to ready that scroll. That's... Oh! Cure light wounds. Okay. That might be useful once we get far into the slums before we clear them. And it's going to be a while before we can get back out or get to a place where it's safe to rest. We'll save. And I think at this point we'll end the episode. When we come back, we might head right back into the slums, or we might visit a tavern. I think we might wait on the tavern, though, until we're ready to celebrate something like our first level up. So we will see you then.